no support, there's no backing, there's no testing. The sizing and the dimensions of the panels are 8-foot dimensions most of the time. There are some 10-foot guys, they're rare. And when you're in the panel business, when you're doing natural stone, you need those dimensions to make things work. So we tried to replicate the panels and the materials to be as close to natural stone product dimensions, looks, and patterns. Textures, whether they're leather, whether they're matte, and whether they're polished. We have availability on 25 different colors and styles currently. Behind the makeup of the material is a waterproof core, SPC, WPC, no wood materials, no recycled content, and we have a 3-layer buildup of outside of the film that we use to do our 3D printing on the material. We've got a 3-layer of UV protection and some like a Teflon or aluminum oxide, which actually we're even increasing for resistance and structural component. The material can be used exterior in certain conditions. We are doing more testing. We're in Canada, North America. Some of them may require rain screens. We all know what that means. It's for water moving, just like an eave system or stucco. You know what that is. There's a puck system designed for it that takes the water down through the substrate and allows water to move and not freeze and destroy the cosmetic finishes. So we kind of are following the same thing. The material has been tested. There's no off gases. We've got fire spread test done. We have DS sheets. It's water resistant, so you can use it in conditions like bathrooms. Installation changes or material changes during the installation, but the installation is pretty typical. It's a very easy product to install, especially not even to do it yourself, but if you're in the tile industry or you're a handyman, it's typical simple tools. And I'll give you guys an example here. It's all stuff we all carry as a trade. We're handyman, we're house sitters, so there's trowels for glue, scrapers for cleanup, typical heavy-duty utility knives, caulking gun, roller, and you'll see why we use the roller as we go, and that's for compression and adhesion of the panel to the wall. Right now, we're speccing an FRP glue. Does everybody know what an FRP glue is? So an FRP glue is used in the industry right now for ACM panels, fiberglass panels, waterproof, cold. You know, for example, they use it a lot in commercial kitchens, freezers, washable. So the glue is compatible with our product. We are looking at different materials. We are going to be testing different materials for different applications. So right now, an FRP glue does the trick. It works well, and it works very compatible with the material. So as we go through the process, you'll start to see some of the things we've done. And as you notice here, you've got a DAP product and you have a silicone matte product, different conditions. In a dry condition, you don't necessarily need to use a silicone product. You can use the DAP acrylic product. And we've custom matched colors for the panel. So they get a better transition in the joint. And those are dry conditions. In a wet condition, we have to use the stock matte or 100% pure silicone. We like the matte, it's more durable, it's got longer life, and it's got better backing. And we've tested it, so it works well. The technique is easy. It's all about prep work. We're going to do a few conditions today, which we're going to get started anytime now. So we'll walk through cutting in the material, measuring the wall, installing the wall, applying the glue, different conditions and transitions, metal transition, corner transitions, or panel to panel joint. And even we've mocked up a substrate that has a tile on it, so that you're working, we're going to show you a condition that, and it's the same product. It all depends on the condition of your substrate. It's not magic, guys. If you get a substrate that is off, the panel's not going to help you. A stone slab is not going to help you because it's not forgiving to that extent. So the wall might need to be skimmed, not the panel's issue. The substrate. So, for example, we did do a project about 2 weeks ago in a washroom that was built in the 70s. A couple loose tiles. They knocked them off. They filled them. And we installed the panel on top. Came out excellent. Outside of maybe one corner that was built 40 feet out of slum, not my nothing we can do about it unless they want to correct it before they install the panel. However, it was a job well done, and it was totally day and night conversion, right? So it worked out well. So we're going to walk you through it. If you have any questions, please stop us as we go. Ask the questions. We're here to do that. We're here to give you support. I didn't talk about the warranty, but on our website, I'm sure Steve's educated everybody. We've got a warranty system. We've got a support system. And even if we got to come out to site and look at conditions for you and help you, or if there's an issue with the panel, we're there to support it. That's the difference between Aura and the guy who's selling them out of his garage. There's a big difference, right? We're not those guys. So we're here to stay, and we're in the industry. I've been in the industry for 32 years myself. My family since 1952. We're well known in the construction industry at a different level than the construction and the businesses. So we understand what it takes to be in business. We have the financial backing to be in business, and we are a joint venture with our manufacturer. We're not just picking your phone up and calling the first guy. We now have a joint venture agreement. We are a partnership with our manufacturer. We control our product, the QA, how the product comes to us, and when the product comes to us. Right? That's a big difference. Because even you as a supplier, you want to know that there's inventory on the ground. Right? And that's what we're here to do. To make sure we have inventory on the ground to give you support and help sales. I'm sure Steven's gone through how we distribute and how we sell and how we protect your markets. I'm not going to get too much into that, but your markets are protected. When people come to this showroom, this is the showroom is to assist the distributors, to push and educate the client on your behalf. So when somebody comes in here, for example, hey, I was driving by, but I live in Hamilton. We're going to show them everything. We're going to give them it's your zone. It's your area. We're respectful. We don't retail at all. So that's not our intent. We're distributors and manufacturers. We want to support it. And this product right now, we're launching in the US in 6 months. We're already in the Caribbean, and we got the Canadian market. So,
are you going to recommend like a retail price? Or
we have Steven can deal with that. Steven has set up already.
Because I just don't want to get into a price war, like St. Catherine's is going to be $3 more.
It doesn't happen. Once the caulking's done, everything's finished. Peel the plastic away, right? So this plastic, actually, we've done one more in our next, the next batch that comes in. We've got 4 more containers coming in. We've actually made this a little thicker, right? A little more robust, just for the added protection. Okay. So now we ship out, we inspect. From time to time, you may get a blem on a corner. Usually, typically, you check your corners, you cut that side because you want to square the panel anyways. So it happens and it comes with it, but we typically inspect before they leave, right? They're all inspected before they leave the warehouse. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off with this mock-up wall. We've got a mock-up wall here from the process. Find the one over here. So measure cut mark. Measure mark cut. Do your lead, set up. So what we suggest is add extra protection just with some maybe painter's tape. And you can also do a finished blade and run it with a small skill set. In this case, today we're going to score and cut.
So gentle and
No, because you want to score the board the first time to create the cut and keep it straight. No, and when you do, you score it 3-4 times simple. This way you keep that straight edge clean. You don't, sometimes it goes off. If you do it like this, take some care. It's so simple. So a little bit of care, a little bit of measuring. The finished product is installed better.
sometimes I try to force it.
Yeah, you want a nice score.
Oh, God.
Score and snap, guys. You can't get easier than this, right? So you can think, these guys are not tile setters, they're handymen. These 2 guys are handymen. He's a framer, and he does all my handyman work. They learn very quickly, right? A do-it-yourselfer as well. It's a good product, right?
That's
Okay, move this.
Yeah, let's put it up. So typically, guys, you'll find the center of the wall is equally split, in most cases. For today, we're gonna just demonstrate an install, a couple of different transitions, and some corners. Do PL, and let's block PL with the concrete. What happens is you get no consistency in the finish and at the joints. So you want to make sure that you got a thorough covered wall with adhesive and an FRP glue and a Wall-Tog glue. Specifically this product, what happens during cure, it pulls the product to the wall, and that's what we want. We want that reaction, right? PL is great, but what we're finding is it sometimes gets, time as it cures, it gets very brittle, and I don't like that. Whereas FRP glue works with the product, just like wall glue, right, or vinyl glue, same idea. So the application is no different than applying floor glue on the floor, or wall glue on the wall. It's about being consistent, and so that'll help the panel be consistent in the finish, right, as we do it. And we want to make sure that joint is glued, right, properly. We'll get into a couple things, like I had some questions earlier. Sometimes you have a substrate that's not that great, and you're getting an indifference between panel to panel, right? You use your typical spacer clip. So if you take a 1.5 mil spacer with a bigger wedge, you can actually do it the same way. And what you do is instead of, a porcelain slab, because it's more dense, would be 4, you might use 8 here. However, you'll get that same consistent, let it cure, snap and come back and cut the next day, right? You can use that too, we do that. So it depends on the substrate. But 9 times out of 10, if you got a decent substrate, you don't need it, you just need the spacer. You want to keep your spacing at 1.5 mil in those conditions. When you do the book matches, if you're doing them, they're tight. But you do a cleanup with them. So we have a process that's why we left that one unfinished, right? There's a process of cleaning that joint up. And we have color matches for that. So those are the things we do as we go, and as part of the process, a little bit of it. So just like marble or granite, whether you're grouting a joint, cleaning up a joint, it's the same process.
Right, so you're outside rise, filming corridors, whatever. Say the panel gets chipped for whatever reason. Is it a touch-up kit for that, or do we got to replace the whole panel?
It's going to be hard to touch them up, right? That's for sure. Now, depending on the use, we have some different applications we're testing now. We have a Teflon film that you can't see it, but it's on the product, but it actually more resistance to the product. You'll see what we do sometimes from seam to seam. You will get to where you see a little bit of the white, let's say. But we have the color matches for that. So we have paint color matches. You touch those up first, you let them dry, and then copper them. And that's it, goes away. You don't see it. So there are some solutions, depends on the condition. We can deal them, maybe skim the wall a little bit and replace the panel. Okay? It's not rocket science. You can prime. We always suggest the prime. We didn't prime the wall, but you can add a prime. It's not going to affect our adhesion or the glue, because the glue we're using with the FRP. But most conditions you guys are working in are primed anyways. So, yes. 30 minutes. Reticle. All the way. Holds it, the other guy rolls it, especially at the seams. Compress the glue. Compress the panel. It's okay, it's all right. So guys, 2 men hand on the panel. Okay, as you can see, you're getting there. We're gonna clean that right away.
But you left the plastic on.
Always.
What I'm saying is, that's all I was asking. You can come up with something for tomorrow,
Now,
and then I can, I'm just saying, if you
not use the acetone on the panel directly. Put a little bit on the rag. You only need very little just to lift the glue and clean the glue. So I got a little bit on the rag. You wanna clean the bottom of me first, please, with this, so we can show them? With the disaster on there.
Well, I
Clean
mean.
as possible. So you wanna take a few minutes after the install, clean up any glue, any excess glue, clean this edge, and clean up the glue, so there's no drying in this for the next panel, right? What you found the piece? Yeah. And we're not removing the protective plastic anyways, right? However, the cleanup, it's better you do as much as possible as you go. You're gonna remove the protective plastic a little bit when you're doing the joints. Once that's finished, you can remove it all, water and vinegar, clean it. That's it.
Let's say that you will use your own directory.
I'm gonna show you that now.
No, without using.
No, you know what, on a textured panel, you get away, unless you have a softer road, then you could damage the panel. Right, so you wanna put the protection on. It takes 1 minute, it's an extra step, but you're not gonna damage the panel. Just put in the first panel, and now the second, I'm starting on the second panel. Very gentle, really, there's no cut, no scratch. Make sure the seam is clean before the next joint, and before the next panel goes on to keep those joints clean. It'll get glue again, however, you'll clean it with the next panel, right? Again, like I said, the acetone, very little, on the rag, not on the panel. Simple. And we're gonna do an outside round corner. So we have accessories, everyone. So we have different accessories for different applications. There's outside corners that come in 4 colors, like this one here, which we'll install in here, simple. Okay? They come in brush brass or gold, the brush silver, black and white. We do have options for rose gold. We don't know if we're gonna bring it. We may bring some just to have it. We have a termination strip that you're gonna see now. We have an outside round corner in the same colors available that you're gonna see now. And we have a seam, a metal seam, so you can, when you're doing dry conditions, if you want some people like to go seam to seam with a metal strip, which we'll install one of those today as well, and show you that too. Install it outside, very straightforward. There's a guide there, it's set for 3 mil, and it'll slip in. Be a little bit of cleanup after you're done with the glue. We haven't rolled the panel yet. We don't want the compression. We want to be able to fit the trim in. And then once we roll it, everything will compress. So here's the termination. You want to take a look. Here's an outside round corner. We have different options, and Steve can walk you through those different options. And that's how you do a return corner. If that's what you like. You can use an outside corner like this one here, if that's the look you want. They come in the same colors. Sometimes people want this. It's a good termination, sometimes at the top, or depends on any condition. And it's up to you and the client, whatever's being designed and what they want, right? In this case, we use this termination here. Typically, we can use this as we did there. The same example, it's here. Simple process, guys. is protect the panel, lower it continuously, and ensure that joint is compressed. So, real simple, you take a look at, always look at the seam, you'll see the compression is even, it's consistent, that's what you want. You can take a look here too. Yeah, we're gonna take the factory cut. When they finish or the painter wants to do. Typically, we like the installers to do that work, but in this case, it's pretty clean. So you don't even need it, right? You don't need to butt tight, panel to panel. You want to leave that couple mil so that you get a nice base layer of silicone in there and it's waterproof. That's the most important. Continuous waterproof. And then we're going to go light, okay? And in a wet condition, a bathroom condition, a kitchen condition, where there's moisture, you want to maintain that 116 or 1 mil to 1.5 to 2 mil joint. It's going to be silicone based caulking. Okay? In a wet condition. In a dry condition, like I said, same joint, you can use an acrylic color match, that's all right. As you can see, he's cleaning the joint. What are you using the plastic blades? So you've got a little bit of acetone, and we're using plastic blades. No damage, nice and clean. Clean the joint before the glue sets. Gives you time to double back if you're doing a bigger wall to do the silicone on the back. So the cleaner you are during the process, and as you see, he's leaving the protective film on. He's only going to open a section when we tape those joints, because we like to tape the joints with a cleaner tape, which we're going to show, and do the process that way. It's cleaner, it's less messy, done, and it's peeled. Now, when you're using silicone or the silicone-based grouts, it's a one-time process. When you're using an acrylic, it's going to shrink it. So you have to do a base coat, come back, retape it, and I'll show you an example of that here as we go along. And recaulk it. I can't help to shrink it. It's acrylic. So you get shrinkage. So So the cleanup's important. Okay, go with the flow, keep cleaning, and
I might go after.
I'll look at the watch when it was done. Very aligned here, just the distributors, right? So we're gonna actually install one now on the next panel, and show that transition as well, right? Now there's some coordination with the electrician, taking it from the top to line to the bottom. That'll be just more rich. That's like discussing here. Right now, our PL.
Yeah.
Simple, PL. You don't need much, right? It's consistent, you know how PL works. That's PL treatment. It bonds very, very good. Now, once it's installed, clean the track thoroughly of glue, outside and inside, or else you're gonna have a problem clipping your lens in, right? And then it's not forgiving, glue's not forgiving, and now there's PL. It may damage the pad. Clean it. So you wanna do while it's fresh. Again, very little acetone, the plastic blades. You can see he's cleaning it, compressing it. You're gonna go up at the top, adjust. What? Talking to me? plastic blades. You go on any easier than that you can get. You will get some shrinkage from the acrylic. So the next day you'll peel this, come back the next day, you have to do it again. If it's silicone based, it's one shot. The better you take, the better the product works, right? It's all up to you. It's very simple. Right? And you'll see in this case I didn't fill it, my fault. It's a couple dollars more, but in the long run, the breakdown time, the UV exposure, the water exposure, this has years and years and years of longer lasting than typical 100% silicone. I want compatibility to the base material too, how it's going to affect the surface. Applying it, I think it's going to scuff surfaces in there, right? This is the easiest application. It takes nothing to take a joint.
I'll put an unsand.
Sorry, unsand, non-sand. Non-sanded coat, that's what I said, non-sanded. We can try it, but you're gonna have to do it, you can do it like this. You're gonna have to tape it.
That's fine.
If you're okay with taping it, then I'm testing it, go from a 1/4 inch to the next size up. That'll help you with the joints and that. You wanna wipe these down with acetone first and cut any old silicone away, cleaning the surfaces, so prepping the surface is important. If you have a loose tile, knock it out. You can use some thin set or some mortar to clean it up and level it, and you're done. Move on. Plaster, whatever you want. I would rather the mortar in the wet condition, right? So, and it's going to be the same application. There's no difference. I can do it to show you. It's the same application as the drywall. The only thing is prepping, cleaning the surface with the acetone, getting rid of the old silicones is going to be very important, and any loose substrate. Right? Anything you put on a loose substrate is not going to work. Doesn't matter what you put, whether it's a tile, a granite, or a replicated stone product. Right.
Go ahead.
From moldy, you want it disinfecting, kill the mold.
If you do, you can use a mold inhibitor. If you have mold condition, use the mold inhibitor. Kill it. Anything, any mold inhibitor that you can buy locally, right? Acetone, spray it, let it sit. The mold inhibitor needs 12 hours minimum, right?
So Frank, you were saying go heavier on the trawl
Yeah, you can go one size up.
because of the roll joints?
You don't have to.
want to, wouldn't it
But
be
Louis was telling me-
quicker and cheaper just to skim it out?
You want to skim it out and make sure you got good application.
Yeah.
Maybe use a Sika product or whatever you use. My base,
You know, when you go, like if the substrate's solid, like the tiles are solid, they're not falling, they're not loose.
you can take that out.
Skim that out.
You have the guys to do that. The typical do-yourselfer doesn't. What we do, we come and increase the tile size, the notch tile size, and go. So you
This way,
have the
it's
skill to do
saying,
that.
just to eliminate possibly seeing that pattern behind the panel.
So far, we haven't had that experience in those substrates, but it's, you know, we've done where some we've skimmed. The last one they did, you guys did Amigo's house, it was terrible, the substrate. They cleaned it up, they did it great, the laminate material came out beautiful. Well, actually, I was impressed. Right? So we can do an application here, it's the same.
Yeah, no. You sure you don't have to prime the tile?
No, we did for P.
All right.
No, clean it.
Just clean it.
Acetone. You need to clean it, or you won't get the bond.
That's a, quick, the prime grade.
What if,
You roll the prime.
Yeah, the
prime
primary,
in 2
we've done it with
seconds.
primary.
here's another question, since like you're promoting to do it in the shower, say there's some crack grout lines, can you use a map elastic, like to seal it first?
Yeah, you can, those are all things you can use if they're compatible,
And it'll still-
if you want to take it to that next level.
Yes.
But using the right adhesives, prepping it properly, so you can do general area repairs, where you have that condition, you repair those conditions, and then you can go on top of it. If you want to avoid that and get a better seal, there are waterproof roll-on products that you can apply directly right on, they're not expensive. And, you know, a gallon has got good coverage, you do 5 bathrooms with it. And you can go right over top the same way, no difference,
I probably would, just
right?
safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are professionals in the industry, so you get it, you've seen these conditions, you understand what you're aiming, what you're dealing with. So you can bring in those techniques for sure and make it that much better. Right?
Just say thank you very much, everybody, for making the long trip here to learn about this. We really appreciate it. You really made this like rewarding for us as well as a company. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That needs some.
Okay, forget it. Guys, help yourself.
They're right there. In the jar? Yeah.